Roll call, if you press your present button, please. Record the roll. Thank you. Staff announcements.
Mr. Chairman, we only have one announcement tonight. That would be item 16 that's been withdrawn, and that would be final plat for James W. White Large Lot Easement Subdivision. And other than that, I have nothing else for y'all.
Thank you. Consideration of the minutes of September 11. Any corrections or changes?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Vote now. Don, somehow yours is, there you go. Record the vote. Motion carries. Thank you. Any old business?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Consideration of the consent agenda. Anyone wishing to pull an item for separate discussion, please say so. Otherwise, we will take it as a whole. Anyone? Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 3, addition Legends Ridge, Section 2A, Lot 924, performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $65,000. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 4, Arrington Retreat, Section 1, maintenance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $185,000. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 5, Auto Clinic of Franklin, performance bond for landscaping, $2,600. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 6 months. Item 6, Falls Grove, Section 1, maintenance bond for wastewater treatment disposal system, $74,639. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 7, Falls Grove, Section 1, maintenance bond for wastewater collection system, $80,861. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 8, Falls Grove, Section 1, performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $575,000. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 9, Stag's Leap, Section 2B, maintenance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $100,000. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 10, Stag's Leap, Section 3A, maintenance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $6,000. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year. And Stockett Creek, Section 1, maintenance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $180,000. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year.
Correction for the record. Item 5 is, you said 2,600 is 26,000.
I beg your pardon. Thank you.
Any questions of consent?
Move for approval of staff recommendations.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record the vote. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 12 is a public hearing. Is an amendment to Articles 11 and 23 of the 2013 Williamson County zoning ordinance regarding special events. Those of you in the audience, our procedures are as follows. If you wish to make a comment on this agenda item, you'll be invited to come to the podium, give us your name and address, and make your comments. We would appreciate it. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Approval of this amendment was unanimously recommended by the Planning Commission at the August 2014 meeting. However, the amendment was pulled from the September County Commission agenda due to a concern expressed by a member of the County Commission related to the exemption language found in sections 1105D7 and 1105D8. Based on this concern, staff has revised the language in these sections to further clarify the types of private events that are exempt from the special events regulations. No other changes have been made to the amendment. The amendment is attached hereto in Attachment 12-1. Staff recommends approval of the amendment and that the attached resolution be forwarded to the County Board of Commissioners with a recommendation for its adoption.
Thank you, ma'am. Questions of staff? Comments? Wait a minute, let me get open the public hearing here. We'll open the public hearing at this time. Anyone wishing to make a comment is invited to do so now. If you'd come to the podium, as I said earlier. Anyone? Last call. We'll close the public hearing. Thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner Crohan. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record the vote. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 13, non-residential site plan review for Grace Chapel wastewater treatment and disposal system on 42.27 acres located at 3279 South Hall Road in the 9th voting district. Staff?
A site plan for a non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system serving Grace Chapel and Grace Christian Academy, which is housed on the church grounds, was approved by this body at the July 2010 meeting. The system has been constructed and is currently in operation. The applicant is requesting revised site plan approval in order to make some minor modifications to the disposal system to accommodate potential expansion of the church and/or school facilities in the future. These modifications consist of converting approximately 18,500 square feet of reserve drip field into primary drip field and adding approximately 32,000 square feet of reserve drip field. A revised design development report and detailed soils investigation report have been reviewed by the county's consultant, who is recommending approval of this revised site plan. This site plan is in order and staff recommends approval. Upon completion of the additional primary disposal field and prior to the issuance of a zoning certificate and operation of the additional primary disposal field, the applicant shall provide the following. 1, a letter from TDEC indicating that the system was installed and is functioning. 2, as-built drawings showing the location of the additional primary disposal field and a sealed certification letter from the design engineer indicating that the field was constructed in accordance with the approved construction plans and specifications. 3, a letter from the owner or operator of the system that it has accepted the additional primary disposal field and is operating same. And 4, the posting of a performance bond for the system in the amount of $19,000.
Thank you, sir. Questions of staff? Comments? Motion?
For approval, staff recommendation.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record the vote. The motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 14, site plan review for Clovercroft wastewater treatment and disposal system on 171.16 acres located off Clovercroft Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
The applicant is requesting site plan approval for a proposed non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system to be located on the south side of Clovercroft Road, approximately 1/3 of a mile west of its intersection with Artesian Drive. The proposed system will serve a residential subdivision that is planned for the property. The county zoning ordinance requires a site plan for a proposed non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system to be approved before a concept plan for the use the system will serve may be approved. The subject property totals approximately 171 acres in size. The site slopes downward from Clovercroft Road to a stream which runs parallel to the road, then upward to the back of the property. Approximately 20% of the site is covered in tree canopy. The proposed system will utilize recirculating sand filter technology to treat wastewater generated by the proposed subdivision. The treatment system will be located on a small hill in the west central portion of the site, with disposal areas primarily located along the eastern boundary of the property. A design development report and detailed soils investigation report were prepared by the applicant and submitted to the county. The county's wastewater consultant has reviewed these reports and is recommending approval of the proposed site plan. A certificate of convenience and necessity has been issued by the Tennessee Regulatory Authority. A conceptual layout for the proposed subdivision has been included as Sheet 3 of the site plan packet. This conceptual layout is provided for illustrative purposes only and has not been reviewed for compliance with applicable regulations. It is staff's opinion that the combination of distance, topography, existing vegetation, and proposed vegetation will serve to adequately screen the treatment system from adjacent properties. This site plan is in order and staff recommends approval. Prior to final plat submittal for the first section of the proposed subdivision, a zoning certificate must be obtained for the completed treatment and disposal system. Prior to issuance of the zoning certificate, the applicant shall provide the following. 1, a letter from TDEC indicating that the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system was installed and is functioning. 2, as-built drawings showing the location of all system components, and a sealed certification letter from the design engineer indicating that the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system was constructed in accordance with the approved construction plans and specifications. 3, a letter from the owner or utility provider indicating that it has accepted the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system and is currently operating same. 4, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $72,000 for the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system as specified by the county's wastewater consultant. And 5, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $64,350 for landscaping improvements.
Questions of staff? I want to go see this stream that runs parallel to the road, then upward to the back of the property. I've never seen that before.
That probably could have been written.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Yes,
Pete?
Question, John. How does these systems fit in the Mill Creek drainage basins and Metro Sewer having control or partial control, things like that? What's the law regulation concerning this? I've been asked and I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm the right person to answer that, but I said I'm not sure that I'm necessarily the right person to answer that, but I'll try to answer your question. The Tennessee Regulatory has issued a certificate of convenience and necessity for this, and I don't think anyone else is positioned to provide sewer services to the property.
Anyone else? Questions or comments? Thoughts?
Chair, move for approval, staff recommendation.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? I hear none. Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record it. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 15, preliminary plat for Kings Chapel, Phase 8, containing 51 lots on 39.75 acres located off Murfreesboro Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
A revised site plan for this development was approved in September of 2008. The applicant is now requesting preliminary plat approval of Phase 8 of the development, which contains 51 lots. The phase is consistent in layout to that shown on the revised site plan. Access to this phase will be through the existing development entrance on Highway 96. A second entrance is shown on the overall site plan and will be constructed in conjunction with future phases. As identified in site plan review, a number of items are to be addressed at this juncture, including submission of road, drainage, and erosion control plans and approval by TDEC, the county's consultant, and staff of all required sewer treatment and disposal systems, all of which have been sufficiently addressed. The applicant has requested a right-of-way variance for all roads to be 40 feet. Staff supports this variance request. The plat is in order and staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat as well as the requested right-of-way with variance. The following must be addressed in conjunction with final plat consideration. Number 1, payment of traffic mitigation funds is outlined in the September 2008 letter from the county's traffic engineering consultant. Number 2, establishment of performance bonds for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Number 3, establishment of a performance bond for water improvements in favor of Mill Crofton Utility District. Number 4, establishment of appropriate performance bonds for the wastewater treatment and/or collection system. Number 5, prior to final plat approval of more than 191 lots total within the development, the new access to State Route 96 shall be constructed. Said access shall provide for 2 exit lanes, 1 entrance lane from State Route 96, and a minimum of 50 foot of storage capacity for each exit lane. Number 6, prior to final plat approval of more than 191 lots total Within the development, an eastbound left turn lane shall be constructed at the new entrance and shall have a minimum of 125 feet storage space. Additionally, said turn lane shall conform to AASHTO or TDOT guidelines, whichever is more restrictive. Said design shall be subject to TDOT approval. Number 7, execution of a stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. And number 8, providing 2 copies of the approved final plat in DWG format on recordable media based on the Tennessee State Plan Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the final plat.
Thank you, Aaron. Questions of staff? Comments? Thoughts?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record it. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 16 is withdrawn. Agenda item 17, resolution to repeal the 2006 International Building Code, the 2006 International Residential Code, the 2006 International Mechanical Code, the 2006 International Plumbing Code, the 2006 International Energy Conservation Code, and adopt the 2009, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is wearing me out. And adopt the 2009 International Plumbing Code and the 2009 International Residential Code and the 2009 International Plumbing Code and the 2009 International Mechanical Code and the 2009 Energy Conservation Code. Staff? Who's leading this discussion?
I'll read it in lieu of Mr. McMillan. So, for some time, Williamson County has been utilizing 2006 International Building Code and its companion codes in our reviews and inspections of construction. Per Tennessee state law, updated editions of this code must periodically be readopted. The value of this is twofold. First, this allows our reviews and inspection process to remain responsive to new construction techniques. Moreover, it has the added benefit that with its adoption, all permitting jurisdictions within Williamson County will be operating under the same code. Such should provide a level of consistency to our building community within the county as a whole. The 2009 International Building Code has been filed with the county clerk's office for the requisite 90-day review period. It is recommended that a positive endorsement of the 2009 International Building Code be forwarded to the County Board of Commissioners for its adoption. Mark McMillan is here for his by-decade visit. By-decade visit on the building code in case anyone would happen to have any questions.
Any questions to Mr. McMillan? Mark, you have any comments?
No, sir. This is just,
You're supporting this move?
I'm supporting this move.
That's what we need to know. Any,
Chair, move for approval of staff recommendation.
thank you, sir. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record it. Motion carries. Thank you. Any other business? I appreciate it. Hey, I want to say something. This is the first time I ever recall we went through the computer and it didn't screw up. Or we didn't screw it up. This has got to be a high water mark in our career here, guys. Pete?
Yeah, I'd like to add something.
Okay.
It might be something we can talk about and discuss later, but, we're having a problem in the county that's very unjust to people in the county and all the taxpayers in the county. The, sewer thing you approved now on track land is gonna be developed in the county. I understand that the county's gonna restrict the number of lots because of traffic problems on Clovercroft Road and other issues. And it's true that it is traffic problem on Clovercroft Road, and maybe it should be restricted. But the property that was owned by the fellow's brother right across the road is gonna be annexed into the city of Nolanton. And they're gonna put house lots from half acre being a big lot, 5,000 square foot being a small, normal lot. They're not gonna be required to do any traffic improvement to Clovercroft Road, nothing to schools, water systems or anything like this. I realize the need. We worked for 40, 50 years on doing things fair and justly in the county. But it's got to the point where these small towns are messing over every taxpayer in this county by letting things being done inside the city and not put any restrictions or any guidelines on those. We've got to come up, have a meeting or come up with some way to hold back or restrict these small towns in looking for rooftops and tax dollars, because it's making a bad burden on every taxpayer in this county. I have no idea what the answer to be, but we're going to be sued because we're allowing one lot subdivisions in some parts of the county, and they're going to put 5,000 square foot lots in our part of the county, and nothing. There's no way we as county, I don't know if any way we as county people can do anything about it or not, but legislatively or legally or some way, something's going to have to be done, because it's a very much of an injustice to a fellow trying to develop in the county compared to what somebody's doing just because it got annexed into the city because the city needed tax dollars.
I wouldn't argue that, Pete. Where is the subdivision you're talking
Huh?
about? Where is the subdivision? Is it close to,
One
towards
of
the
them's
city?
due east of me on the south side of Clovercroft Road, and the other two,
How far due east?
huh?
How far?
1,000 foot, 2,000 foot.
Ooh.
The other two are
I didn't
directly
look
north.
That far out.
The other two are directly north. So
Pete, I understand you.
I know all the families. I'm involved with all the families, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or interfere anyway. But it is a terrible injustice for one person on one side of the road to be restricted to such a degree because road improvements need to be made. And I agree, road improvements need to be made. But we need some way. These people in the city are going to be using the same roads, and our tax dollars are going to upkeep these roads or improve these roads. These dang city developments are going to have to start putting money into these things also. It's a problem, and it's making me mad.
You need to talk to the chairman of the county commission, see what he can do.
He's not very responsive.
We are adjourned. Thank you, Pete. I thought it was a good idea.